What's quarantine look like for you, and how good does it feel to just be back on the field?
Well, quarantine it's been a long one, you know. It kind of started back in March. Really, it started out just helping my kids with school and football. Then we went to the beach for about a month, and we have a place in North Topsail in North Carolina where we're from. So spent some time there and did my football work from there as well. And then we came back to Bowling Green, and I became a bike rider. So I was riding my bike, 3 days a week. I was staying under 10 miles, but on Sundays was my big run, my big bike ride. So, and I stayed in like a little residential area, nothing crazy. So I got up to 20 miles, and so I became a bike rider. I've kind of put the bike up since camp, but I'll start back going in the mornings now since I got the flow of camp. But yeah, it definitely feels great to be back to football. Obviously, we all been biting at the bit, waiting on it to get out there and watch our guys run around. And I mean, it's invigorating to see all those guys out there, playing good ball, and it makes you feel real good.
And just to kind of follow up on that, I know that's kind of what Coach Ellis said yesterday. Good to see that excitement. But in terms of football-wise, like skill-wise, stuff like that on the defensive side of things, what have you liked that you've seen so far, and what do you see that needs work?
I mean, there's always things that you can improve on. Us as a defense, we feel like we had a season where we went out and proved, what we can do. But I also talked to our guys about just improving our details about defense. Just want guys to really dive into the deeper and deeper into our defensive playbook, just from the detailed perspective. I showed a different video this year. I showed the Kobe Bryant detail. He's breaking down Scottie Pippen's defense. So if you go and watch that, I had the guys really look at that video and pick out some things that can relate to football, to our defense. And it really was eye-opening in the fact that, those are two of the greatest guys that ever played basketball. If you just go through and get your details and study, do your homework, and I think, better things can come.
Hey, what's going on, Coach? Taryn Johnson, WNKY 40 here. You have a defensive unit that returns a lot of guys from last year. From your vantage point, how much of an advantage is that to have guys that already kind of know the system and know what they're doing, especially in this time of limitations as far as the total number of practices and what you can actually do on the field?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a great feeling to have those guys back because, one, from a relationship standpoint, we all understand each other. And, I think it's very important for us as a coaching staff to continue to really harp our guys on the details of our defense. We can't let anything slide because, to me, like when you have a year like we had as a team and as a defense, that you can kind of relax, you don't want that. So that's been our preaching moment from the moment we got back in January, was to listen, stay on these guys, don't give them anything, don't give them any breath, So I think that's been the most important part, is just continue to trying to improve. And, we know some things that we need to get better at, and our guys are striving for that every single day.
Coach, Casey Warner, College Heights Herald, as far as the scheme goes, what kind of looks can we expect from your defense this year?
I mean, we kind of pride ourselves on being multidimensional, really from a 4-down, from a 3-down, from a 5-down look. I mean, we're trying our best to be very unpredictable to other offenses that they watch us on Saturdays and Sundays. Is that, whenever they come play against us, they got to prepare for a lot. Really, we want to, from a schematic standpoint, we really want to just still continue who we are as a pressure team, as also a coverage team that plays tight coverage and makes teams drive the ball down the field and really do a great job in the red zone and the 3rd down and getting off the field as much as possible.
Coach Jared with the Daily News here, probably the guy that's been getting the most attention, D'Angelo Malone. I think we've got him coming up here soon, where he's coming back as the Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. Him and Juwan, Coach Helton said the other day, it's kind of pick your poison. What have you seen from those two guys early on here?
Pretty much some of the same work, man. It's been nice to see that, They both are in great condition. Juwan is in good condition. So is D'Angelo. They work well together. I went down to Coach Baker's office today to hit him up on some notes. And I walk in there and I bump into those two big boys watching tape, doing their free time. So, and sometimes, the way the offices are set up, you don't get to see which guys are out doing the extra film. But it was good to see that, and I think that's part of who they are. They become good leaders. A lot of young guys that's coming into our defense, they're starting to look up to those guys as just as students of the game. I think that's the part where they both want to continue striving.
Coach Casey Warner again. Which newcomers have stood out so far in camp on defense?
Some newcomers. Really, I'm trying to get my mind together with that. So we have some freshman defensive end. We have a linebacker. We have a couple linebackers. I like Nick Days as a newcomer right now. He's the guy that I've seen flash. He picks things up pretty fast. He can run. I like how he's moving around. We have some defensive backs. We have obviously Travis Collier is a young DB that I like from a skill standpoint, a little raw, but he has some ability. I think those guys, right now they kind of fishing around trying to find the defense, but for the most part, I mean, I like the whole group as a whole.
Coach Taron Johnson, WNKY 40 here again. As hard as it is to believe, the season opener is 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah.
What are some things that you think that this defensive unit needs to improve, in order to play its best at Louisville on September 12th?
Mm-hmm. You mean improve from now until then?
Yeah, sir. Just what are some things, I guess, through the first week of fall camp that you like, but also some things that, the defense needs to shore up before the regular season starts?
I think the thing that the hardest part about football is trying to be in football condition. I think so from a conditioning standpoint, I think that's going to be the number one thing because you're going to be excited as well to play the game. But at the same time, you got to be able to hold up from a stamina and endurance standpoint. I think that's going to be the ultimate thing. As far as the calls, as far as the schematics, you can keep things simple as a play caller to make sure they're not making as many mistakes and those kind of things. But I think the conditioning aspect is going to be the part that I think we just got to continue striving and getting better at. I think Coach Helton upped the reps today, and we got him in. So I think that helped. I mean, it's going to take those kind of things to keep our guys moving.
Coach Casey Warner again. I'm going to ask this question to D'Angelo a little bit later as well, but you expect D'Angelo to get double teamed this year, I would think. Have you all prepared for that any so far, working on double teams?
That's a good question, Casey. Throughout the year, teams started respecting D'Angelo because he is a really good one-on-one rusher, and I think that we kind of started having those plans last year. So. And it also helps on the other side you have a good end. So, they can't double team everyone. So our D tackles are the ones that are really excited about it, They're going to get more of the one-on-one opportunities against a guard. But I think D'Angelo wants to be moved around some. And, you'll see him all over the field pretty much. And they're going to have to find him during those situations.
Coach Jared McDonald with the Daily News here. Coach Helton talked a little bit the other day about the importance of depth this season, especially where you never know who might be out of a game because of the coronavirus. He also mentioned depth on the coaching side and that you guys have kind of had a plan in place. I know he talked on that Beyond the Hill podcast earlier this year, called you and Coach Ellis both future head coaches. I guess how much comfort would you have in a situation like that if you were in that position where you needed to be acting as a head coach?
That's a good question. I've always been real cool, calm, and collective about a lot of things. Even doing this job that I have here, it'll definitely be an emotional undertaking to do that. But I think that's something that I'll be excited to do, and I feel confident. This will be my 18th year as a football coach, and I've always the past couple of years, you kind of start thinking that way. Start putting yourself in those shoes. And I truly believe that, we hope that doesn't happen, but you also have to be prepared for those situations. And if Coach called on me to do it, I'm pretty sure as a staff here, I wouldn't be doing it alone. I think that's the part that, that makes you feel comfortable that no one wouldn't leave you out to drive by yourself. So Coach Helton will guide me or Brian, however that works out, and the staff will be behind everyone and the players will be behind us too. The goal is to get that win. That's all Coach Helton, all of us will care about, whatever it takes.
Coach Garrett again. I think we got Devin Key coming up here shortly. I saw the Western football Twitter account. I think they quote tweeted something where he became a new father recently. I know there's high expectations for him on the football field too. I guess, how have you kind of seen him balancing things early on in camp, and what are the expectations out of him this season?
Devin's, it's weird because me and Devin, and you don't get to coach guys for 4 years a long time. That don't really happen a lot. But I've coached a guy at NC State for 4 years, and Devin be like the second safety that has been a part of for 4 years. And our safeties and our defense and myself are really close because all the checks, and they like the quarterback of our defense. But he has not missed one stride, so he's playing a little bit of both safeties this year for us. I'm pretty sure if we asked him to go play nickel or linebacker, he could do it. But I definitely was texting back and forth with him when he became a father, letting him know. I text his mom, I text his dad. I did not get a chance to text his mom, Mr. Cole. But I was happy for him, and just staying in contact with him. We gave him a little maternity leave, and he's back to work. So